Team of the week for Six Nations round number 1, folks. Let's go through 15 players from the week that was. Highlight some key stats and moments, and you guys can let me know your thoughts on who you had down as the best players of the week. We'll go through some honourable mentions at the end, but we're going to start with an Italian. And it is one of the most interesting man of the match calls I have ever seen. And I watch a decent amount of rugby. Simone Ferrari, the Italian tight head prop. Why do I say his call for man of the match was interesting? I haven't gone back to watch the whole match just yet, but I don't think he touched the ball. He's credited with 0 carries, 0 meters, and 0 passes. If someone chucks you the ball in rugby, you basically have to carry it or pass it or kick it. He didn't kick it either. So I don't think he touched the ball. He did smash a lot of people with the ball. He had 18 from 19 tackles, which is the most of any prop this week, including a dominant tackle. No, 3 dominant tackles. And their scrum certainly got on top of the Scots on their road to a cracking victory. So, no turnovers conceded. Didn't touch the ball. You can't concede the ball if you don't have the ball. But it's nice to see a guy who isn't just getting a hat trick and being automatically awarded man of the match. You know, get a man of the match award. A tie head prop. Good. I'm happy with that. That's a very good call. Scrum well, tackle well, do your core rolls well, clean out and all that jazz. You don't need to touch the ball to get man of the match. Amazing stuff. One guy who did touch the ball and tends to get more man of the match awards, George Ford, pulled the strings really well for England. I mean, I say that, pull the strings is probably not doing him justice because he had a couple of try assists, both to Henry Arundel, one with a pass, one with a nice little dinking kick, which was very sweet, 4 conversions a penalty, gets 11 points of his own, and just was finding all kinds of space. Like, George Ford gets a lot more credit for his distribution game than his personal Bowden Barrett of old. I'm going to take the ball to the line and beat defenders and stuff. He was doing that as well. 6 runs, 62 meters is cracking. It's over 10 meters a carry. It's not what George Ford is generally known for. A couple of clean breaks, beats a defender, 68 passes and 26 kicks. Borthwick's team, despite the fact they still put on a heap of tries, they gets criticised for it, but they kicked a ton. They got the better of the kicking battle against Wales, and a big part of that is George Ford's 26 kicks. He makes 5 from 5 tackles, no turnovers conceded for a guy who did touch the ball a lot. No penalties conceded. And, man of the match for George Ford. The other guy who got man of the match, I agree with all these calls. Mickael Guillard, chuck him on the board as well from the French game. He's a very mobile lock, and it reflects well in his meters. Like, he does some of the sexy stuff. This is not, I didn't touch the ball and made a heap of lineouts and tackles and stuff to get man of the match. Nah. 16 carries for 46 meters is the most meters of any lock this week. It's not usually why you pick your locks, but Guillard's got that in his arsenal, doesn't he? A clean break, beats a couple of defenders. So very aggressive on the ball carry, and 8 from 8 tackles plus a couple of turnovers won means defensively very sound as well. So good on both sides of the ball. Finishes with a try assist as well. That nice inside ball he gave to his locking partner, Charles Olivon. Amazing stuff from the French forwards generally for that try, but Guillard was a key part of it. He doesn't concede any penalties. He doesn't cough up any ball. Really good choice for man of the match. So different guys with different games. A creative back pulling the strings in Ford. A Ford who's doing both sides of the ball work in Guillard, and then a defensive scrummaging powerhouse in Ferrari. Happy, happy days. One guy who would have been in the conversation for man of the match from the England game, Ollie Chessum. 100%. He had a phenomenal shift as well. He almost catches up to Guillard in terms of his run meters. So I picked a couple of kind of sexy locks this week. We'll get to the honourable mentions in a minute because there were other locks who put in a heap of tackles, but 7 runs, 43 meters. Chessum was everywhere. Everywhere on the ball carry, also 3 passes and offload, and then defensively 13 from 15 tackles, so defensively very strong as well. And the line-out stuff, because remember, Maro was on the bench for this one, and Maro's one of the key cogs in England's line-out operations, but Chessum, 13 line-out wins. How many do you think the next best player has across the 3 games this week? Maybe 10, maybe 8, 6. The next best guy has 6. So for Chessum to be at 13 is cracking. Like, Scotland could have used him. You know, someone reliably winning lineouts, albeit in different weather conditions, to be fair. Different games. But he did cough up a couple of balls. He did concede a penalty. But, man, busy around the park, busy defensively. Amazing at lineout time. Couple of dominant tackles as well. So, Ollie Chessum, very good player. And then back to the Italian game. Tommaso Menoncello. He is a beast on the ball carrier. He finishes with that try, which he got out on the left wing, which is a nice one. He's got a decent yard of pace about him to get around the corner and go for the try, which was the Italian second. And then he has a whopping 112 meters, which is the most of anybody this week. 4 defenders beaten, 2 clean breaks, and 5 carries. Goodness me, he's a unit. Him and Brex are a hell of a combo. Those are some amazing attacking stats. Plus 7 from 7 tackles, including a dominant one. So 100% on the tackle. No turnovers conceded. No penalties conceded. Scoring tries, making meters, making tackles. Hell of a player. Haven't even mentioned this guy yet. Bielle-Biarrey on the left wing. Couple of tries from him to get his Six Nations tally underway for 2026. Got the first one, which was, he beat a few Irish tacklers. He's done that to a few people with those little grubber kicks of his, but this was just French counter-attack from kickball, wasn't it? Multiple French backs got their hands on the ball. Depoortere and Moefana in the build-up to that one, but when Bielle-Biarrey goes down that touchline, he's a very hard man to bring down. He doesn't just have to do it with the grubbers, so he gets that first one. He gets the second one in the second half with Ramos's incredible volley. Whether it was intended in that way, it worked out as a bit of absolute French magic. So 2 tries, 4 carries, 94 meters as a heck of a return. 3 clean breaks. How do you have 4 carries and 3 clean breaks? Because you're Louis Bielle-Biarrey, I guess. 5 defenders beaten, 5 passes, 5 kicks, 7 from 10 tackles. I think Nick Timoney kind of went around him a wee bit for Ireland's first try, but yeah, 7 from 10 for a wing is not too bad, including a dominant one. Doesn't concede any penalties. That guy is such a weapon on attack. And speaking of that man, he's the only Irishman I could get on the board. Not that I look to get an Irishman on the board or any team in particular. There's one team who will not be represented in this team's team of the week. This week's team of the week. Nick Timoney. Off the bench for Ireland, one of the better players of the match. Ireland's bench came on and did some good things, but I think Nick Timoney was at the forefront. He scored a try, which was on the back of a bit of front foot ball for the Irish guys. As I said, he kind of went around Bielle-Biarrey, getting himself into just turning shoulders and getting himself over the line. 8 runs for 40 meters. Now, 40 meters is about the same as the 2 locks. He's a loose forward, so a loose forward getting 40-odd run meters is not unheard of, but he does it from the bench, and he gets more run meters than any of the starting Irish forwards. So he does that from the bench with less time. I got to give him credit for that. A clean break and beats a couple of defenders. He wins a line out, has a pass, 3 from 3 tackles, wins a turnover, doesn't concede penalties. He's one of the few bright spots on what was a pretty forgettable Irish evening. No turnovers conceded in that Irish game is already a big green tick because they coughed up a lot of ball in that game. So Nick Timoney, I thought, did the game pretty well. And then Danilo Fischetti. So I've gone double Italian props for this week. He likewise tackled the house down. 16 from 16 tackles. Top of loose heads this week. And second for props. He's only behind Ferrari in terms of the pure tackle count. He's at 100%, including 3 dominant ones as well. And he did touch the ball. 5 carries, 13 meters, 2 passes. Wins a turnover. He did concede a couple of penalties. I think the Italians got pinged early on, but they really turned the screws as the game went on. Doesn't concede any turnovers. So Fischetti, good effort from him. Who else are we going to chuck in? Got another Frenchman. Ramos at fullback. That kick for Bielle-Biarrey is freakish stuff, but it's very Ramos, isn't it? I mean, there was 2 volleys in this game, one from Prendergast kind of defensively, but Dupont kicks it through Ramos. Ramos decides, I'm just going to kick it straight away. Kicks it for Bielle-Biarrey, and it's try time, so he's credited with that try assist, rightly so. He has 90-odd meters as well, 95 from 13 carries at fullback, so he was taking the ball to the line, kicked most of his goals, 4 conversions, a penalty for 11 points. And then the amount of touches he gets on the ball is quite incredible. They really use him as that other playmaking option. 21 passes, 3 offloads, 4 kicks. Doesn't have to make any tackles, which is maybe a bit damning for the Irish. But, yeah, he's none from none on the tackle count. He wins a quick line-out, doesn't concede any penalties. Happy days for him. And another Frenchman, Nicolas Depoortere in the midfield. Dangerous. He tops the defenders beaten count this week. First equal with Tommy Freeman. They both had 7. So busting tackles was Depoortere. 49 meters from 9 carries. So he was likewise looking to get his hands on the ball. And his pass count is also quite nice with 6. So it's a good mixture of passing and carrying from Depoortere. He's got both in his game. Just the 1 kick and 13 from 16 tackles. Defensively very busy. He does have 1 dominant there as well. He's got 3 turnovers conceded, which is maybe a touch high. But, yeah, really, really dangerous ball carrier for that French side. Jack Dempsey at number 8. I managed to get a Scotsman on the board. It was very competitive at number 8. He had some good performers. But Dempsey's got one thing that really stood out. He gets the try, which is obviously cracking stuff. He's got a wee step in him as well, to get past Nicotera to go over for Scotland's first, to start their kind of comeback. And he's got 21 carries for 58 meters. 58 meters is a pretty sizable chunk. He's not the most of forwards this week, but he is right up there. But the key thing is, he's got more run meters than anybody else from the Scottish team in this game, which you could say is great for Dempsey. You could say is pretty damning for the Scots, that you're number 8 in that game with 58 meters as your top ball carrier. Maybe it speaks to the conditions as well, but you got to give him some credit there. 4 defenders beaten as well means the carrying was effective. Just the 1 pass, 8 from 9 tackles, so defensively solid. No penalties conceded, no turnovers conceded. So, yeah, top Scottish run meter getter, and second for the entire game, just behind Menoncello. So, yeah, cracking stuff from him. I haven't got more of the Italians on, but I need to get one on. I'm going to go with Michele Lamaro, the captain for Italy. Less in the ball carrying stuff from him. He only has 2 runs for 4 meters, but he does have a try assist in this game, and he's got a massive defensive shift. 16 from 17 tackles, which is a common theme across a lot of the Italian guys. They had to make a heap of tackles in this game. And he's the second equal guy for line-out wins. Was part of the disruption operation on Scotland's line-out. So real good effort from him, from the captain, leading the defensive shift from the front. He does concede a penalty and have a couple of turnovers conceded. But, yeah, pretty good stuff from him. Haven't got a 9 yet. I ended up going with Antoine Dupont. It's one of those weeks where Dupont wasn't the best French player on the field for a change, but he's still very good. Still very, very good. He's got a try assist, which is the one for Jalibert from that close range scrum attack. And he's got some crazy attacking numbers, like 12 runs for 40 meters. When I've just been telling you there were locks with 40 meters, and Jack Dempsey had 50 meters, and Menoncello had 100 meters, you go, 40 meters. It's not that flash. Clean break and 2 defenders beaten. But the next best number 9 in this game, I think, was Serron with 21. Nobody gets close to Dupont this week for a halfback to able to carry like that. 66 passes, an offload, and 19 kicks from hand. Remember, he put the dink through for Ramos, which Ramos they gave to Bielle-Biarrey. He certainly gave the Irish guys a hard time with some of those kicks. The aerial game is an area that the French excelled at. 5 from 5 tackles, including a dominant one. Wins a turnover. He's maybe a bit lucky not to get carded with that deliberate knock-on penalty he conceded. But, yeah, Antoine Dupont, funnily enough, is a pretty good player. Jamie George at number 2. Consistently good. Their line-out was very sexy. They were at 95% across him and Cowan-Dickey. So very, very good from England. Very stable in that department. 5 carries for 8 meters. Jamie George is always kind of Johnny on the spot. If someone needs a quick close-range carry, he gets over the advantage line. 3 passes, 8 from 9 tackles, defensively very solid, doesn't concede any penalties, doesn't have any turnovers conceded, and I like the way he manages the ref when he's captain. I don't think he gets too in your face, but I like the fact that he asks pertinent questions to at least make the refs justify their decisions and whatnot. Like he's asking, like, which player was offside? Can I go talk to my players? Like, take a bit of momentum out of the game when they're on the back foot. His team still ended up getting yellow carded when Maro came on immediately, but I do think the way he manages the ref is good. One player left. I've gone with one of the Italian boys, and Lynagh scored the opening try from that kick through from Brex, helped set up the next try when he won that aerial competition from a Fusco kick. So a direct hand in both of the Italian tries from Lynagh. He only has 3 runs for 8 meters because he didn't have to run far to score his try. He was mostly chasing a kick and likewise chasing the aerial ball for the second one he helped set up. But he's got a clean break in there, which is the try. 5 from 8 tackles. It's not his best shift, but he's got 2 dominant ones in there. He's got a few turnovers conceded. They did start to drop the ball in the air as the game went on. And he had one spot where he came in at halfback and just had a little fumble. So not perfect, but a key man in both of Italy's tries, I think deserves a shout out. So there you go. That is your team of the week. You've been bombarded with stats and all that jazz. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Subscribe if you did, because we'll be doing this every week for the Six Nations. Honourable mentions, Jean-Baptiste Gros also had a hand in that Olivon try, which was cracking stuff. He scrummed the house down too. Tyke Byrne for Ireland won a few turnovers, which is why you want him in the team. He was another one of the bright spots. Nicolo Canone, goodness me, he's maybe hard done by. One of the top hard done by guys this week in terms of my lock picks, because he's tackled the absolute house down, and likewise did Jenkins for Wales. I didn't have any Welsh guys on the board this week, sadly, lads. Fusco for halfbacks is the other probable option. His kicking game gave the Scots a lot of trouble. And Ben Earl is probably my other most hard done by guy. He had more run meters than like Dempsey did, but less of a kind of top guy for his overall game kind of thing from an English perspective. So you can put it in either context. Lorenzo Canone, likewise, was very, very good for the Italians at number 8. So you can take your pick of those 3 guys. Jalibert, likewise, for France. Looked pretty good. Looked better than what I saw Intermac playing last year, but it's a different game. I'd be keeping Jalibert going even if Intermac was fit at the moment if it was me, but hey, we'll see. Dingwall, pretty good for England, set up a couple of tries. Brex for Italy continues to be good. Henry Arundel would normally be a shoe-in with 3 tries, but I'm glad they didn't just chuck a man of the match for 3 tries. They actually gave it a bit more thought than that, and that it's not just like tries that are the automatic man of the match, player of the match kind of award. But anyway, you guys let us know your thoughts. If you want Six Nations gear, supporters gear, check the link down to the Six Nations shop down in the description. Using that link helps to support the channel if you were going to buy yourself some rugby gear. Rugby gear is good. You guys take care, and I will talk to you again soon. See ya.